currently I'm preparing for an exam. So lot of Mike's assignments, I'm doing them, but this one I will do it as soon as I finish my exam on Saturday. So that's one of the things that is just holding me back. But another question I want to ask: can I use this PyCharm community to do this assignment, or I use VS Code?
Yes, you can use PyCharm.
Okay.
That's what I used. It works. That's what I used.
Okay, so I will do that and submit it to you.
Okay.
I think you're given 2 exercises. I've seen them in the book, so I'm going to do it. Anyway, I find difficult, I will just send you a chat so that you assist me out.
All right.
Thank you. No, I have all the videos. I have them. I'll go through them again. I'm online. I'm on live class. I'm also downloading them, going through one after the other, like that.
Okay, thank you. All the best in your exam.
The exam is not easy, but God will help me. It's a professional exam. So I'll just try my best and leave the rest for God. Thanks so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so today, let's just begin by talking about GitHub. If you can see my screen, let me know.
Yes.
Yes,
I can see it.
see your screen.
Okay, so github.com. Now, what is this github.com? It's a version control tool for developers, for programming. What does this do for us? It helps us keep track of our work. Right? So every time you do a work, you can store your code here. And then, for example, if you are working on something and then you came and try to do something and then everything has a problem, you can always come back to a previous version of your work and retrieve it. Also, you can collaborate. So if we want to do something together, use a version control tool like this, where you can add something to the work, I can add something to the work. Everybody can add it from their own computers. If you're working now in tech, every organization will have a tool like this they use. It's not only GitHub, but GitHub is the most popular one. By trying to understand the concepts in GitHub, any other one they bring to you, you'll understand what it's doing. It's a bit early for us to throw this now, but I just think we should throw it now because it will help me to see your codes. Now, if you follow the principle, taking your codes to GitHub from time to time, I can just look at your GitHub and see what you're doing. Right. So I want everybody to come and sign up. When you sign up, you create an account for yourself. Right? Are we together?
Should we do along?
If you can do along, fine. But even if it's after the class, you just need to do it to get a GitHub account. Now, when you signed into your account, you sign into your GitHub account, let me bring this other page where I am signed into my own GitHub. This is my GitHub. I'm signed in. If you look at the left-hand side, you will see repositories, right? So these are like repositories that belong to me or I've worked with, showing different things I've been doing over time. You open your own, maybe to be empty, but you click on new. You click on new, you create a repository, which, for instance, could be learning Python. Let me say I'm creating this learning Python. You put a description. I just say this repository is for the Python files I use in learning Python fundamentals. Okay. You also have the option to make it public or private. Or just advise you make it private when you're doing your own. I'm making it private so people cannot just come and see your work. Because this is kind of going to be very rough. You're just using it to get familiar with the tool. It's not going to be so presentable. But later, when you have repositories, you want people to be able to see, you make it public. Then you could create the repository. When you create the repository, you will have a screen such as this with some instructions on how to initialize this repository. Now, to get started, you can create a new file or upload an existing file. We recommend that you create a README. So if you click here, you can just create a README and commit it. But what I want us to do is connect our existing workspace to this repository. So it's assumed that you have a folder where all your files for this course, like that chapter 1 you're learning, it's in a folder. So you go to VS Code now. This my own repository is already connected. Let me find something that is not connected like. This is also connected. Okay, now let me just do something new so that we'll see how it works. This is opening. Let's say I open a new VS Code. And then in my computer, let me go and create a new file or folder rather. Let's say I create a new folder and call it PYPY. Right? It's on my desktop. I want to be working from that folder. So in VS Code, I click on open folder to open that workspace. I go to my desktop and choose it. So after choosing this folder, I open it. Now this is the folder, assuming this is where you've been doing your work, stored in a location. What I want you to do in this place is connect it to this GitHub repository we created. So our file here, let's say this is a file. I'm going to create a new file and say trial testing.py and just put a comment. This is a file. Test GitHub. And I save it. So this is a file. was doing my assignment here. To be that your assignment file, all these solutions are here. You can now open your terminal where you usually run your file from. I believe we're all familiar with this place. So now you will then follow these commands. And follow these commands here. These commands, right? Are we together?
Yes.
Start creating your there are some commands here. You follow them. Now, don't need to type all. You can just type the ones I did. The first important one is git init. Okay. I just realized something. I already have git in my system. For those that don't have git, which most of you wouldn't have git, so this may not work directly. The first thing would be come and do install git. When you click on it, you will come to this website, installing git. When you click on it, look for where to download git, or let me say download git first before installing. So git downloads. I'll download it based on if you're using Mac OS, Linux, or Windows. So if it's on Windows you're doing, you click download for Windows and you download it. And after downloading it, you're gonna install it. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. Sorry. Yes. Please, I had this challenge when I was downloading my VS Code. My VS Code and
I will get started on that training. What I tell you now. Okay, now just start. We just start. How far? Which side you
did? Please mute yourself. Thank you.
So, sir, I had this challenge. Even when I downloaded the GTO and then the Python app on my desktop, it couldn't run on my system. So I tried both alternative means of running this to the two programs, but it still didn't work. So now what I resorted to doing was to see if I can update my see if that's what is responsible for it. So now why I'm asking this question, because you said you will see OS, you see the Windows and the OS version of this particular app. I hope I will also encounter that same challenge while installing this GitHub on my system.
You know what we'll do? Maybe after the class, you and me, we can just have a discussion.
All right.
I'll look into that and just try to make sure it's installed.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome. This one now is just the website for downloading. You will just see the option depending on what you're using. If you choose Windows, you download for Windows. Something will be downloaded. I click on Windows. Okay, here. And then if I'm using 64 bits or 32 bits, let's choose now. You see something is downloading on my screen. When you finish downloading, you then install it. Okay. Installation should be pretty straightforward. Just don't need to do any configuration. Just next, and then get it installed. Then you can carry out this command. This init I was trying to do now. Okay. Init. Together.
Yes, sir. But the person that's talking now should mute his mic so that we can hear you clearly, sir. Thank you.
Exactly.
I'll try to mute him myself. I should be able to do that.
Hello, LB, please, can you go back a little?
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, because
like what I was saying is, you come to GitHub, you create your account, then you create your account, you click on new, start a new repository. You put in the name of the repository, maybe a description, not compulsory, but you can just put a description. And I advise you choose private so that nobody has access to your repository apart from you. And the repository is in the public domain. Any person can just come and look at it. Just keep it private because, yes, we are using it to learn, and therefore it's not going to be well prepared for public viewing. Now, after that, you will come to this page, right, where we need to kind of initialize our repository. And I was letting us know that you go to your VS Code, in directory, which I set this up now with testing.py, and then I was trying to initialize it. And I said, the first command here is git init, which you will type in your terminal. But then I realized that before you type this, you must install git. So that took us to where you go to git download, then download it for your computer and install. After installing it, you then come and configure. When you do is this folder where you're working from, a git folder. So when you put it, you now see there's initialize empty git repository in this location. This location is on my computer, right? So this PyPy folder I just created now has a .git. I think if you view it from this place, not yet, it's not showing here. So it now has a .git there. Let me see, view hidden. How do I view hidden now? I'll find out. There's a way to view hidden files and folders because there's one new folder that has been created here.
It was there, you skipped it. It was there on the folder you showed now, on the drop down menu you showed. Somebody praise me, I will praise myself as a cook.
Last item. Good, thank you. Sorry. There it is, right? It's a hidden folder. You normally wouldn't see it unless you do show hidden folders. You will then see a .git has been created in this folder where I choose as my working directory. That folder is for GitHub. So it's hidden because you don't really need to do anything there. It's just the Git that I'll be working with it, storing some files there that it uses to ensure that it's tracking your work properly. So that is because I've initialized it, the Git repository, which is the first command you're seeing. Now, this second command, add readme or MD, is if you want to have a readme file, which is not very necessary, but in a standard project, you need to just put a readme for people to understand what is going on in that project. And then you have your first commit. You commit your readme. And then you make your main branch the main. Okay. Now, the second most important, these three for us now, these three, you don't have to do them once. You don't have to do this one. After initializing, the next thing I want you to do is to connect your remote repository to this GitHub repository using this command to be shown in your GitHub repository when you create it, because there is an address here, this part. This address is specific to the repository. If you see, it takes the name of the repository I just formed. Okay. You can also see it here. It's the same address here. So this is where you're going to link my folder. This one I've initialized. I'm going to link it now to what is in GitHub. I copy that line. copy it and I paste it. Now hit enter. It has been linked. Now start linking. You then begin to check your JIT status. So JIT status is a command that checks and tells you about the status of your repository, right? That tells you about the status of your repository. So JIT status is one of the commands we use very well. Always just check where you are. JIT status. But what is it telling me? I am on branch master. The name of the branch currently I'm on is master. So in using JIT, there are many commands. We're not going to teach it exhaustively now. I'm just trying to show you the basics you need to start. Then what's going to happen as you keep working with JIT, the knowledge of JIT will increase. You know more commands because you're going to use more. And why I'm introducing this is so that you get familiar with GitHub and working with GitHub, right? As we go along the course, we'll be using it. Then if you have any challenge, you can also ask and we'll try to help resolve it. But now, this is a very common command we use, JIT status, to tell us where we are. And if you watch, it says there is no commit, not committed anything, my repository. And it discovered an untracked file. The file that has not been given to JIT to track for us, which is testing.py, which is a file in that repository, which is in that folder. It's untracked. So to add it to JIT or to add any of your files, you will use this command. It's even written here. Say use JIT add. Let me just do JIT add. Now, you could add, to type the file name if I want to add just the file. If I want to add everything that is in the folder, because you may have more than one file in your folder, you do JIT add dot. JIT add full stop is I press enter. So it has added it. To see what has happened, I can check my JIT status again. JIT status. You observe that file was untracked and it was red. But now it is now green because I added it. But it is now telling me that I need to do a commit it. So changes to be committed. I've added it to the JIT. And then the next thing after JIT add is JIT commit.
Sorry, Lizika.
Yeah?
Sorry, can you mute that other person? It's really distracting. Sorry.
I do what?
Can you mute this HMD global?
HND global.
Yeah. The noise on his background is a bit distracting.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so now let's continue. We are now to commit the file. So to commit a file to JIT, or to do a JIT commit, the command is JIT commit. You can even see it in your repository here, even though I told you to ignore it, but I didn't just want you to do all of this. But this is the JIT commit. And you have -m, then you put a message. Anytime you commit, you put a message. And JIT will use these commit messages now to keep track of the changes you've been doing. Now, because this is my first commit I'm doing, I could say JIT commit -m. M there stands for the message I'm going to put. And I'll put it initial commit. You can say first commit, initial commit. In quotation, anytime you're doing a commit, you have to put it in quotation. Then I press enter. It has committed it, right? JIT, it's been committed. At this point, I've added it to JIT completely. So I do JIT status again, because you always use a JIT status to check where you are. It tells me I'm on the branch master, nothing to commit. working tree is clean because I've committed all my changes. If I make a new change to this file, if I add hello world, right? Let's say I added this, something I'm doing extra. I save my file. The file has been modified. If you notice from this part, there is now an M because JIT is keeping track of this file and all the files in your repository to keep track of it. The moment there is a change, it will start putting an M. You see that this file has been modified. What it's saying is, from the last time I made a commit, where I am currently, there is a change because it tracks every change you do. Now, you see, modified. The file has been modified. If you come to your terminal and you do git status, you will see the message now. It's realized that this file was modified and it's telling me this file is modified. Okay. If I also add a new file, let's say a 3.py, because of my work, see the file I added new is on track because it has not been added to JIT. Meanwhile, the testing I added it before, so it realizes when it's modified and it's seeing this file with a U, meaning it's new, it's on track. You can also use the git status to check that. You see the two of them. One is modified, one is on track, which is new. Now, if you want to add them one by one, you can add the modification, or you add the new file. You use git add. Git add. I can then put, say, the 3